Hello, everyone. Does anybody else deal with a veteran that suffers from PTSD and depression? I know I do. My husband is a 100% disabled veteran and he has PTSD with depression and nightmares and quite a few other things. There is a stigma to trying to get help for it. I believe that veterans should have more access to resources and that they should be a bit more advertised where veterans know more ways to get help for it. We need to understand that it is not shameful to ask for help, which seems to be the case with a lot of veterans. They believe that if you get help, you're just being silly, you don't need help, just get over it. There's a lot of push for that, which in turn actually makes the symptoms worse. Getting the right people to help you is crucial, and managing the symptoms, therapists honestly should harness and use more resources. There need to be more therapists that are actually specifically trained in just PTSD with veterans, and maybe depression on top of it, because they are two separate things. Now, one of the things we deal with are nightmares or flashbacks, or it's called the 100-mile stare, and it's where they just zone out and they tend to be here physically, but in their mind they're back in the war zone. So the nightmares can actually get violent, where they're kicking, punching, screaming, just everything, and it can be difficult to get them out of that state. They also deal with, like I said, depression. The survivor's guilt is a big thing. When I killed this person, is karma going to come back and do something to my wife, to my kids, to any of my other family members? When we're driving down the road, look at this pile of trash, that could be an IED, and so on and so forth. So to get help is difficult, and then as a caregiver, you also need to make sure that you're getting help to not just help him, but also to help yourself, because it can be mentally taxing and physically exhausting. The proper help to get would be extremely important, because it can lead to your veteran having, addictions, whether it be drugs or alcohol or spending or just all kinds of addictions that you could think of. The worst case scenario, however, could be that they harm somebody else because of their PTSD flashback, or just harming themselves, which is why they do have the suicide crisis line. They need to feel important. A lot of them need roles to play when they come back, because they do have a hard time integrating into society. I would love to see people have apps that they could possibly become group discussions with other veterans, either with a therapist in the group or just a discussion. There are programs that you can get into which will take the veteran fishing, golfing, fly fishing, just all different kinds of group activities that they can get into, which is wonderful. That way they have the support of others that understand what they're going through, because a lot of times it becomes difficult for them to actually speak to people outside of the military, or that have never served and have never gone what they went through, because obviously as an outside person that has never served, I will never understand the full context of what my husband is going through. Now, they do have an app. It's called PTSD Family Coach 1.0. It's free, it's publicly available. It helps with stress management, self assessments, and features connecting to alternative supports. There was actually a total of 200 participants with an average of 39 years, primarily female and white, were randomized self-guided use of either PTSD Family Coach or psychoeducation app for 4 weeks. About half of the randomized participants never used their allocated app, and participants in the PTSD Family Coach 1.0 condition only opened the app approximately 4 times over 4 weeks, suggesting limitations to this app. So it kind of goes hand in hand with the hardship of not really being able to find things that work 100% of the time. I hope that there will become more and more things available, again, apps or therapists that are actually trained in just PTSD, because it is very important that you get a hold of it before something serious happens with your veteran. It is unfortunately a less talked about thing, and it is starting to gain more and more recognition, thankfully, so that our veterans can get this help that they need.